The running bit about spongiform erectile tissue got me.
For heaven's sake, that's our cold open. We can't just leap in with spongiform anything. There are standards. Decorum. Think of the sponsors.
What sponsors? Mrs. Higgins' discount doilies. Relax, it's from the book. Paladin's Hope by, A. T. Kingfisher. C. Literary. We're talking about a paladin, right? Holy warrior type, except this one's got the hots. For another dude, progress.
It's the third installment in the world of the White Rat, focusing on Galen, a paladin of the deceased Saint of Steel, and Piper, a rationalist Lich-Doctor.
A coroner. He pokes dead bodies for a living. And apparently, our holy warrior isn't obsessed with his sparkling personality. Oh, no. He's obsessed with his hands. Just hands. Forget abs, forget eyes. Hands. Is that a thing?
While the thematic exploration of intimacy through unconventional focal points is present, the core conflict revolves around Galen's profound trauma and self-loathing stemming from his past ordeals.
Oh, my God. Again? Didn't we do this with the last two paladins? Traumatized. Thinks he's garbage. Pushes perfectly nice person away. It's like my Tuesday night Tinder dates, but with more swords and less ghosting. This Galen guy pulls the classic. I'm too damaged for you. Routine. Newsflash. Buddy. It wasn't noble when my ex Kevin did it, after spilling bong water on my cat. And it's not noble now.
It's called white fanging, a trope exploring self-sacrifice, however misguided. It speaks to the character's internal landscape, his perceived monstrosity.
Perceived. The man has night terrors that probably register on the Richter scale, and worships a god who's literally offline. He's not exactly prime relationship material to begin with. And Piper, the boyfriend. Sweet guy, I guess, if you're into dudes who prefer corpses to conversation. Probably smells like formaldehyde. And existential dread.
Piper represents order, rationality, the quiet dignity of seeking truth even amidst decay. He's a foil to Galen's chaotic inner world, and his meticulous nature, his dexterity, is precisely what captivates Galen. It's symbolic.
Symbolic of a weird hand fetish. One reviewer, a gay reviewer, mind you, said the whole romance felt like it was written with a female gaze. Because of the hand thing, he wanted more. I don't know. Sweaty wrestling. Less delicate finger appreciation.
That's a gross oversimplification of complex reader response theory and the problematic nature of essentializing gaze. It's not about the gender of the author or reader, but the cultural coding embedded within the narrative perspective. Honestly, your grasp of critical theory is as tenuous as your grasp of basic plot points in Moby Dick.
Oh, here we go. Mister, the while is a metaphor for industrialization. It was a boring boat trip. Just like this is turning into a boring therapy session. Where's the action? The talking badger cop. Airstripe. Now he was interesting. Asiya, Ebe. All city guards are badgers. Facing species discrimination while trying to solve grisly murders. That's the drama I signed up for.
It's gnole, not badger, and the acronym is AKB, referencing systemic issues within law enforcement analogs, not badger guards. And while the socio-political commentary on prejudice is present, it's hardly the central thrust.
So is this book actually good? Or is it just trauma porn, with a side of hand-holding and badger cops? People online are calling it Cozy horror. Cozy. There are mangled corpses. A literal murder maze full of death traps. Since when is Saw considered cozy?
The cozy horror designation speaks to the juxtaposition of horrific elements with moments of found family, gentle romance, and domestic comfort. It subverts genre expectations, like pairing a robust cabernet with, well, perhaps not spongiform tissue, but you understand the principle.
No, I don't. It's like calling a shark attack. Aquatic acupuncture. We got a listener email, fake listener. Obviously. Brenda in accounting wrote it, saying, loved the focus on hands. As someone with a deep appreciation for well-manicured cuticles, I felt seen. See, there are dozens of them, dozens.
And another listener, probably Gary from IT, supposedly wrote, the gnole constable syntax was occasionally inconsistent with established gnole linguistic patterns from Book 2. Ruined my immersion. The pedantry.
Okay, fine. The death maze sounds kind of fun. Like an escape room designed by Jigsaw. Did they have snacks in the maze? Probably not.
It's a desperate struggle for survival against a deranged killer, not a team-building exercise. Though Kingfisher's prose, even amidst the horror, retains a certain wry wit. That line about nuns and lawyers deploying intimidating fighting moves. Quite droll.
Droll. Is that what we're calling it? I still think the whale book was more droll. Drolly boring. So, rating time before my brain melts.
Very well. Despite the formulaic character arc for Galen and the somewhat niche romantic focus, the world building remains engaging, and the blend of horror and heart is, admittedly, effective. I give Paladin's Hope a deeply problematic yet structurally sound 3 out of 5 existential crisis.
Weak sauce. This book had trauma, murder mazes, hand fetishes, badger cops fighting the system, and nuns teaming up with retired hookers. It's chaos. I give it 5 out of 7 severed limbs. Because cozy?
That rating system is meaningless and frankly disturbing.
So is being obsessed with hands. Join us next week, folks, when we tackle the controversial new memoir, My Hamster, the secret agent who loved me. Apparently, Mr. Snuggles had a license to kill and nibble.
I need a drink. You've been listening to Heart Book Radio, or perhaps enduring it.